Let's jump right into it. This is a real estate photography masterclass. I don't care what your experience level is. You could be a rookie, you could have just a cell phone, you could have literally nothing. You're gonna get something out of this, okay? And if you do, please hit like, hit subscribe, go to my website, leave a review, which by the way, we're not gonna talk about reviews right now because my freaking Google My Business just got suspended. They asked me to send a video verification of my office. I did everything right, and then all of a sudden, boom, suspended. I've already did the mailer verification. I did that years ago. And anyway, there goes all my hard work on my Google My Business page. So I don't know what that's about, but we're not going to get into that right now because guys, we have a masterclass to jump into. So this is a real estate photography masterclass, obviously. So the very first thing that I want to point out to you is you're not a photographer. Everybody thinks that they're a photographer. Ooh, I'm a photographer. No, 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 no. That's why there's a lot of broke artists. You need to start calling yourself a marketer, okay? Just right off the bat. That's something that took me a long time to realize is that, or you can call yourself a content strategist, or you never just say, I'm a photographer, because I have no idea why, but people think that photography is just like click, click, boom, click, click, boom. And then all of a sudden, like, I don't know, have you ever like had a client in any, I mean, you could be just like a headshot or something, or like a wedding or whatever, but people just think that you can just give them their raw files immediately, like right after you take the photo, and you're like, no, I'm a professional. I don't do like JPEGs, and they don't even know what you're talking about. Okay, there's just a massive disconnect between the general population and then like people who are professional photographers. Huge gap. In fact, I want to make a YouTube series where I just give people the best gear, because people think gear is what makes like the photos. There's some slight truth to that, but you can't just give any old person the best gear in the world and expect to get the best photos. That's just not going to happen, right? There's systems, there's processes, and we're going to get into all that today, all right? So I need you guys to start thinking like you're a business. You are not just a photographer, okay? You're a marketer, you're a content strategist, whatever label that you want to put yourself as. You're a social media queen. I don't know. Everyone is nowadays has like a new version of like some new title that I've never heard of before. Like, for example, my old office, we used to call the front desk girl the director of first impressions. So whatever you want to call yourself, okay? Just don't call yourself a photographer. Even though you are a photographer, you're a beautiful photographer. Click, click. So anyway, and that's just simply because you don't want people to discount you. And yeah, I know, guys, there are people out there that do think photography is very difficult. Those are the people that have been in the trenches, and they're like, I respect everything that you do, man. I don't know what I'm doing. So anyway, yeah, you're a brand builder. You're a process creator. And what I want you guys to talk about, what I want to talk to you guys about today, a lot of what we're going to be discussing is skill set, mindset, and then just the habits in order to actually run and operate a business, okay? You're not a real estate photographer. You're a real estate photography business, okay? You're a content business. You know how to make photos, videos, develop 360 tours. You even have to get drone certified, so you're a pilot, okay? You're all these things. You're a multimedia specialist. You're a multimedia strategist. But don't ever use the word multimedia. They're going to go, what the hell is multimedia? Do you work for the news? Do you work for Fox or CNN? People don't even know what media is. My company is called Cinnamon Media. And they're like, what the hell is media? I don't know. Exactly. Okay, so guys, what we're going to do is we're going to talk about gear. What gear do you need as a real estate photographer? Obviously, you need a camera, okay? I have this theory, it's buy nice or buy twice. So we're going to talk about all the necessary gear, and then if there's additional gear that I left out, please just correct me in the comments or just add it. Don't like talk shit or anything. Just say, hey, what about this? What about that? No video is perfect, and sometimes you're going to leave things out. So in this video, I'm just going to point out what kind of gear that I've used and what kind of gear I currently use. So I started off with a Canon 80D, okay? I used a 10 to 18 millimeter, and then I even actually bought the 10 to 22 millimeter because we had two cameras going. I had a Rebel T7 and then a Rebel T7i that my little brother was using, and then I was using a Canon 80D, and they both were crop sensors, and they worked pretty well for like the first year. But then when you get into things like video, Canon 80D is actually pretty decent like vlog camera, but you're not going to be able to like put professional videos together in the way that these realtors or builders are expecting. So I'd upgrade. I actually upgraded then to a Sony ecosystem. In my notes here, you see you should pick an ecosystem and stick with it, because what you don't want to do is end up buying like a bunch of Canon stuff to realize that, oh crap, I actually like Olympus. I'm more of a photographer. Or I like video more, so I'm gonna go with for me, I like video the most, so I went with Sony because their autofocus was crazy, and I went from real estate photography to weddings back to real estate photography. So at the time, weddings and that eye focus was just insane. Like you could just throw this thing on auto and so I went with the Sony E mount. This is an A7R3, like I said. And then for real estate photography, the lens that you need is a 16 millimeter or equivalent. So if you're gonna be shooting on a crop sensor, like some kind of Sony A6600 or something like that, you're gonna need, I got a buddy who shoots with a 12 millimeter Samyang. I think that's how you pronounce it. And the pictures turn out pretty good. So I'm not super duper familiar with Sony crop sensor or any crop sensor other than just the Canon 80D that I used. But you got to figure out what the crop ratio is, and then you got to pick a lens that's relatively close to 16, 17 millimeters. That's that American real estate photography look. I do know that like in Sweden, they shoot just only 24 millimeter. There's a couple of countries that do that, but we here in America, we like things big, baby. So we shoot 16, we like it wide. I actually, don't tell anybody this, I call it the porno lens. This is the lens if you want to make things look bigger. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna look bigger. Like this little guy here, with this lens, it's gonna look like this guy right here. Okay, are we understanding what I'm saying? All right, you're picking up what I'm putting down? Thank you. So anyway, we're gonna move on from that. Let's not get into that. And let's talk about the gear some more. So buy nice or buy twice. And I came up with that theory because I bought a bunch of tripods online from Amazon thinking, oh, they're $40, they're $80. Like, why would I ever spend $600 on a tripod? Well, the reason is because like I have a Peak Design travel tripod and I have the carbon fiber one. One, because it's lighter, but two, I like Peak Design. It's freaking, it's light, it's stable. I've owned that tripod for like 3 or 4 years now, and it's the exact same, yeah, like almost 5 years now. It's the same as when I got it. And there's a lifetime warranty. The thing has definitely made me more money than, like, if I were to just keep buying cheap tripods every single year, I'd be way over $600 by now. So yeah, and the cheap tripods that you want to avoid, like, would be like Geek Odo. That was like one of the ones. I remember, this is before I knew Amazon had like a stellar return policy. I threw those away, you guys. I didn't even return them. I didn't donate them. I was like, nobody should own these. They were just terrible, terrible tripods. For 360 cameras, I have an Insta360 X5, but I also have a Theta Z1, a Ricoh Theta Z1. It's an okay camera, the Theta Z1. I like the X5. This is a fun camera. It's so cool. But I think Insta360 is kind of a shitty company. I just do. Their app sucks. But man, you can do so many cool things with these cameras. I hope that they don't end up like GoPro, where they end up just shooting themselves in the foot and be kind of, try to become like an accessory company, or try to, rob you by their subscription model and their cloud storage, and then they throttle things. I just don't like GoPro either. GoPro's it's a great camera. It's cool. I have a GoPro 11. It's right here. Hero 11 is freaking awesome. But anyway, so also you're gonna need audio. Okay, so you're gonna need a tripod. You're gonna need a camera. Okay, so pick your ecosystem and pick, do you want a full frame camera or do you want a crop sensor camera? This is not a decision that I can make for you. I don't know your budget and I don't know your experience. So, and I don't know the scope of work that you're interested in doing. So what I always tell people is plan for the end. Like, who do you want to be and where do you want to be? And by the way, rent a camera before you buy it. That's a little life pro tip, because if you buy the wrong camera and you realize that you don't like it and it's too late, well, guess what? You could have rented it for $40 and discovered that, rather than spending, $3,000, $4,000, $5,000. Like, The camera that I'm shooting on right now is an FX3. It's $4,000, right? Let's say I hated it. That means I'm out $4,000. That's not fun, right? So just think about that. But as far as audio goes, I'm gonna give you guys a little tip. You can, for $100, get one of the best microphones I've ever used. It is called a Tascam DR10L Pro, okay? It shoots or records in 32-bit float. So you can basically be screaming in it and it'll never peak, okay? Have you ever been listening to audio and it sounds muffled because you either spoke too loud or too soft? Well, this microphone is perfect for you then, okay? I don't have an affiliate link, I got nothing. I just think it is such a stellar lens. This is a stellar lens. This is a 16-35 G Master. This is the original one. I don't have the Mark II. Do they use the Mark II for lenses, or is that just for cameras? Anyway, yeah, freaking beast of a lens. I just love that lens. And then yeah, the microphone. The current microphone that I'm using is the DJI Mic 2. Freaking phenomenal, phenomenal, phenomenal mic. Also records in 32-bit float, but it records internally 32-bit float. It gets a little bit weird. Anyway, still a fantastic microphone. It's everything that I want in a microphone, other than it's a little bit bulky. That's kind of my only gripe with it. Gimbal, if you want to get into video, guys, you got to get a gimbal. You can get the DJI like Osmo Mobile, right? That's great for cell phone walkthrough videos, okay? Those are cool. But if you want to graduate to the big boys, like I have a DJI RS2, and then I also have the brand new DJI RS4 Mini, which is a beast. It's freaking cool. It's not as good as the professional line ones, because I have a professional line one, but the Mini is also a freaking beast. It's small, it's compact, and it can take the payload, like it can take the weight of my biggest lens and my biggest camera. So, and it's extremely compact and travel, like, so, I don't know, I do a lot of traveling, guys. I'm always in and out of my car or in and out of an airplane. So carrying a big gimbal around, it's really just not fun. It's more cumbersome than anything. So that's why I have that. But if you find something used, or even just like on Facebook Marketplace, I know a guy who still runs the original DJI Ronin. He still runs that thing, and it's still working to this day. So don't discount old products, guys. Sometimes these newer products are overkill, but I got a sweet deal in my DJI RS4 Mini. As far as drone goes, I just have a classic Mavic 3. I didn't even get the Mavic 3 Pro or Cine, whatever that was, because at the time I wasn't getting like a ton of drone bookings. And this was a good price. I bought it and I've been very, very happy with it. Before I had that, I had a DJI Mavic Air 2, and I thought that was okay. I don't know, they're fun, they're compact. I still own it, you know. I have a lot of memories with that thing, but the truth is, these cameras, and they all kind of suck. They really do. I don't know what DJI does in their marketing to make their photos and videos look so stellar, but the truth is they're very okay, all right? One day we're going to get there, but for now, they're just okay. Even the brand new DJI Mavic 4 Pro, still very okay. Very, very, very okay. Slightly better than even just the regular Mavic 3 Classic. So guys, don't be afraid to buy old gear. I know a kid who makes videos with the, I don't even know the name of the drone. It's a DJI. I think it's an Air S2 or something like that. Maybe somebody knows, but those also look just as good as even the newest technology. So, I mean, guys, we're talking about real estate photography here. We're not making cinema movies, all right? I mean, if you want to make, again, with the end in mind, if you say, hey, I want to be making freaking cinematic movies and I want to do this, okay, then go get the freaking DJI freaking Pro. Go do that. But for everybody else, there's a girl that she's a contractor, so I don't want to say hired, but she uses a Mini 4 Pro, and it looks better than this. It looks better than this, and you don't even need your pilot's license to fly it. Come on now. So there's pros and cons. You have to weigh them out with your end goal in mind, okay, and your budget, I can't do that for you. I mean, if you want, at the end of this, I'm going to tell you guys how to get a hold of me. There's a free 30-minute consultation. I only have a few hours a week that I reserve for this. Go book that free consultation. It's free. I'm not going to sell you anything. Well, I might try to sell you some type of mentorship. Of course, I'm trying to make money. You're trying to make money, and I'll accelerate everything that you're doing. Okay, and I have testimonials too. So anyway, doesn't matter. Who cares? But anyway, let's move on. So commit to one. Otherwise, you're going to be buying. Just commit to one ecosystem. Commit to full frame. Commit to this. Commit to that. Commit to that. Because what you don't want to have to do is buy an adapter, buy the Metabones, buy the this, buy the that. Oh, then I gotta sell all my lenses, and then is it KEH? They're the ones who buy all the. I don't know. I've never really traded in any of my stuff, but I've looked into it. I still have my Canon 80D. I gave it to my niece to go play with so she could learn photography, so then she can work for me when she's in Kansas, when she's in college, to make some side money. I'm just going to run ads in that local market, and she's going to go out and shoot with the gear that I give her. So anyway, guys, have the end in mind. Oh, wow, services that sell. We gotta go back. We're gonna do this live, guys. We are gonna freaking do this live right here. Bam, bam, bam. Okay, so let's talk about it. Let's talk about this. Okay, boom, boom. Okay, bam. Let's get back into it, kids. So what services are you gonna sell? What do realtors need? That's really what you need to be asking yourself. What do they want and what do they need? Wants and needs are different. Wants and needs, they couldn't be more diametrically opposing from each other, right? One is emotional and one is logical, right? These are left, right brain difference. You see what I'm saying? So I don't really appeal to what they need. I know what they need, but you know what they really want? What do they really want? What do they really want? That's right. They want more business. So I always frame everything when I'm selling services to real estate agents in context of you can get more business. You're going to get more eyeballs. They don't care. Like everyone in the whole world knows that real estate photography is not to sell the property. It's not. Now, technically, we can really get into this. If we're going to dive into this, like real estate agents have a fiduciary duty and responsibility to their client to get that thing sold at the highest price and get the most attention on that thing by doing whatever they can marketing wise, right? They charge somebody 6%. And then with that 6%, they have a marketing budget, right? Whether that's running ads, whether that's paying for professional photography, whether that's getting a single property website, who knows what they do. Every single real estate agent is their own independent contractor, and you need to start thinking about them as their own small business, because that's effectively what they are, right? They work in a brokerage underneath a broker. That's where they have their license, but they work for themselves within the confines and rules and regulations of that brokerage, okay? That's why real estate agents are not consistent across the board. And then the ones, your objective is to tell them and not convince them, but show them with data that if they invest more money into their marketing, they're gonna get more leads from their listings. So that's what we do. We say your listings can become lead machines, because that's really at the end of the day what realtors want. They want more business. Just like you want more business. They want more business. Okay? And it all starts with being a good salesperson, because if you can sell somebody, like I just sold a builder on doing a video, okay? He was telling me, I can't get these lots sold. I have 17 lots. And I said, have you ever tried video? He goes, I don't do video. I go, what do you do on the internet? He goes, I love watching videos. I said, okay. What else do you think? Do you think people like watching videos online as well? Or do you think they like looking at a photo of like an empty lot in dirt? Or do you think they want to see the transformation process and see really what goes into it and how cool that would be, right? And he was like, okay, let's try it. What do you think happened? Thousands of views later, right? So I'm just saying, video is compelling and engaging, and people watch that stuff. So did it sell all 17 lots? Hell no. That's not how it works. But what it did do is boost his credibility. More people reached out. He got leads. If he wasn't able to close those leads, or those leads weren't ready, maybe they're going to be ready in 6 months, it's still better than where he was at with just dirty little photos. Not dirty photos, but just photos of a lot, you know? Yeah. So anyway, guys, what services do you sell? You sell the services, obviously, that they need. So photos. Whenever a realtor calls me, they go, "Hi, do you do photos?" "Yeah, of course I do photos." And they go, "Okay, I just want photos." And I say, "Oh, okay. Are you sure?" "Yeah, yep. For this property, it's just photos." And I say, "All right, fine. That's okay." And then I get there. And by the way, this happens about 8 out of 10 times. I always come extra prepared. So I bring my video camera. I bring everything with me in preparation that I'm going to sell them face to face. I'm doing a social media video, right? I upsell them. And this is real. I'm not scamming them. What I'm doing is I'm saying, hey, you need to elevate your brand. You're going to be missing out on a lot of attention and potential leads from your listings if you don't maximize this. And I say, so how many listings a year do you get? Well, we get about one a month. And I go, what if you could get 4 a month? How would I do that? I go, well, let me ask you this. Where do you get most of your leads from? Oh, from friends on Facebook. Oh, okay. Well, let's just say there was a video of a property that you just posted or a photo of a property that you just posted. Which one do you think your friends are going to like and share and comment on more? Oh, of course, the video. And I go, so you're telling me right now that you get most of your leads from Facebook. You're leaving money on the table. Every single listing is an opportunity for more business for you. And I say, hey, I will shoot the video for free. And what we're going to do is we are going to post it online. And if the video performs in a certain way, I'm going to get all the money, like 100% of the money that I normally would charge for this video. But for now, I'm going to shoot it for free. If it doesn't perform, it's free for you. Okay? Free. Keep it forever. They're always like, okay. And then I even upcharge. I go, do you want to be on camera and speak into the mic? Of course. That's an upcharge, baby. And you're probably wondering, why is it an upcharge? Well, guys, the gear costs a lot. Okay? That's really why. It's like a $300 microphone. And the editing is different. Then I have to come up with a script. Then I have to frame them. Then I got to do all the... It's an upcharge. Of course it's an upcharge. And it also elevates their brand more. So of course they want to be on camera. Because if they're not on camera, then it's just like a general video, right? Anyway, ignore all my oil on my face. That's just called hard work. One day you're going to understand what that is. So anyway, let's get back into what services we can offer, because we're gonna appeal. We're gonna satisfy their needs, but we're gonna appeal to their wants. Okay? All right. Copy. Photos. Boom. Check. Videos are the best thing going right now, guys. So I just strongly advise you invest in a gimbal and learn how to frickin' penguin walk. All right. We'll talk about that later. So floor plans, easiest thing in the world. You download an app called Cubicasa. And Cubicasa you just go around and you scan the freaking perimeter of a house, and then it spits out schematics. It looks flippin' awesome. And then, so you have photos, drone. Drone is another thing. I actually don't really like to upsell the drone. I always try to just ask them questions. I build trust through my drone. I say, well, let me ask you this. Is this a property that's near a park or near something that, is important to whoever's going to be, moving into that property? And a lot of times they say no. If it's a lot, like a house with a big, like a big yard or a big lot, I always suggest drone. If it's by a river or a lake, things like that, always suggest drone. By a community park or something like that, always suggest drone. But generally, I try to build trust with my drone. I try to build credibility and let them know, like, hey, I'm on your team. We have the exact same objective. Because at the end of the day, if I can help these people get more listings, they're ultimately going to send me more business. So, I mean, yeah, I'm helping them, but it is also selfish. Like, I'm not like, I'm going to give up my whole life to help build your business. Like, no, I'm building up your business because if you get more listings, then I get more photo shoots and I get more video shoots, okay? We can all get rich together. So anyway, you want to be there and you want to be on the same team as those realtors. You're not trying to milk them for their money. You're trying to help them build their business. Okay, I hope that makes sense. So a lot of my realtors are like 50 years older or older, and they don't know what they're doing when it comes to the internet. Okay, so we offer like social media reels, slideshows, we offer single property websites, things like that. But I also have I have virtual assistants in the Philippines that handle for some of my clients their social media management when they get listings. Okay, it's just a little bit of an add-on service. And the social media person, they're my actual VAs. They get paid a bonus, and what they do is they take the media and they post it online for them. They upload it to the MLS for them. They do everything for them. So basically, we take the photos and we do everything for them. We put it on their Instagram, put it on their Facebook, like I said, the MLS, and then that auto-populates through WolfNet and IDX, and it spits out to Zillow and Trulia and all these other fancy schmancy Redfins of the world, okay? We've done website design. It's not something that I love. I don't have somebody who I can call upon, and really what I'd be doing is just sending it to Fiverr and then going that route. But I don't know. I mean, how many plates do you really want to spin, right? We've done SEO, right? One thing that I actually just did was a Google My Business, which is I'm not going to talk about Google My Business right now because I don't like it. But it is very necessary because local SEO is going to be more and more important, especially with language, like large language model SEO. That's going to be big too. So don't sleep on large language model SEO. Yeah, really. Seriously, that's going to be huge. Same with Google My Business because Google is going to have to become more and more competitive as those large language models, LLMs, goodness gracious, as those improve and get better. I never cleared my throat. So one of the last things that we also just did was video business cards. Oh, and headshots. You guys, these are all wants. A realtor doesn't need a video business card, but they want one. Why do they want one? So they can look more credible, right? It's really cool. I'm going to give you guys a little pro tip. If you want, you can actually talk with so let's say you have a realtor that works in a specific city. We're just going to take where I live, which is Minneapolis. So you can go and you can say like, okay, well, what kind of person is this? Like, what is their brand, right? We got like a lot of LGBT people, right? So let's say I'm working with like a lesbian realtor, right? I have a lady in mind actually that I'm thinking about her, and she hangs out at certain clubs, she eats at certain restaurants, she goes to certain coffee shops, and she goes to certain, events and parks and things like that. So she's a part of the community. What I would invite her to do is say, hey, let's talk to all those business owners. Let's shoot a video with you in all these places, but you're showing your like on your website, you're showing whoever views your website like who you are, what you're all about, and you're connecting through a digital medium. But we also can work with the restaurants, and we can all share that video with each other. We can all put each other's websites on our websites, backlinks, and we can all just basically elevate each other, right? So we all win. So they're putting my backlinks, I'm putting their backlinks, etc., etc., etc. So it's kind of a cool idea, and you can even do it for free. That's how cheap it is now. Like, I just want to invite you to understand something. I edit a lot of my videos through people. In fact, I don't edit any of my videos. What I'm trying to say is I send all my videos to go get edited at anywhere from like $30 to like $75. Okay. I also pay for pay-per-click leads on Facebook, and $30 for a lead that great in establishing that business relationship and really elevating that relationship, $30 is nothing for a really good, strong lead. Okay, so you would just tell her, yeah, I'll take care of everything. I'll come out, I'll shoot it. So you're basically selling your time, right? Plus the $30 for the edit for a relationship. And you have to ask her for a review and a referral. And then those backlinks. Those backlinks are going to help with local SEO like you wouldn't even believe. So keep that in mind. All right. And then let's go back to the headshots real quick. We love offering brokerages yearly headshots. So if you reach out to a broker, go on their website and just look at how all of their real estate agents have different photos, different quality, different this, different that. An agent, a brokerage, their whole job is to recruit new real estate agents. So if everybody looks extremely professional and really put together, do you think that they're going to have an easier or harder time, recruiting? What do you think? Come on, it's pretty obvious. They're going to have a much easier time. They're going to look more polished, more professional, and yeah. Anyway, it's endless, guys. It's endless. It's endless. It's endless. It's endless. Now, how do you sell this stuff? Well, I'm going to be completely transparent. It's not easy. Okay, it's not easy. So realtors need to feel, or builders or architects or whoever, they need to feel that there's enough value that they're getting out of these services to make it make sense for the money that they're spending. So I always bundle things. I try to figure out what is the cheapest thing for me to produce and the highest value for them. And there's just somewhere in the middle there, okay? So I'll show you guys a little bit what that looks like, okay? So right here, if you see on the left-hand side, it says a la carte, okay? So our photos for certain, these are all my pricing is based on property size. So my photos for a property between 3,000 and 4,000 square feet are $379, okay? Or instead of $379, they can just get the bronze listing, and they'll get 30 photos, floor plans, drone photos, and a virtual twilight, okay? They always upgrade to the bronze. Always, 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 always. The good agents always do gold, almost always. Like they just go for gold. And what that looks like, it's the exact same thing as the bronze, plus 10 additional photos. And then they're gonna get one of those premium video walkthroughs. So these agents who use the gold showcase, these people always generate more leads from their listings, always. How do I know? Because we have tracking links. I actually am not gonna go over that today in this video, but maybe at some point I will. And then we also have the platinum, okay? And that's basically everything plus a 360 tour, okay? Plus a 360 tour. Anyway, guys. Oh, and we always charge extra for drone, no matter what. Drone video, right? Video is video, like that's a gimbal. But if you want me to take this in the air, you're gonna have to pay for this as well. This is a separate service. Some realtors don't understand that. But I always say, hey, I have to hire a drone pilot to come out here. I'm not the one doing it. Okay? I'm not the one doing it. So so you want me to pay the drone pilot, or are you gonna pay the drone pilot? Who's receiving this service? Oh yeah, you are. So you're gonna pay the drone pilot, but you're gonna pay the drone pilot through me. I'm hiring him. You're paying me to do the video and the edit and send it to you all within 24 hours, or it's free, okay? You're paying me to make sure that the shit gets done correctly and efficiently in perfect condition. So don't be afraid to charge what you're actually worth, guys. I actually think that these prices are cheap, and I know that some of you guys are looking at this thinking that it's expensive. So anyway, let's move on. Guys, bundle your shit. Bundle it. You're gonna get way more bookings. Don't just sell photos. Don't sell photos. The biggest mistake that I ever made, there was this mega client. He called me. He said, hey, do you offer floor plans? This is when I first started. I said, I don't do that. I didn't know, like, it was just super easy. Just download Kubicasa, scan it, and send it. I didn't know that. So I said no. He never booked me again because he wanted floor plans he used me a couple times for just photos, but he called me up. He's like, hey, can you also do this? And I was like, no. Always say yes. Always say yes. Even if you don't do video, say yes. You can post on Facebook and say, hey guys, I have this video gig and da-da-da-da-da. Always say yes, okay? Because if you don't, they're gonna be like, oh, you can't do 360 tours? You can do 360 tours. Go and rent a Theta Z1 for $50. Just go and rent it. Oh, you don't have a drone? Go rent it. Go buy it on Amazon and then return it. We're not going to get into that. I don't want to get in trouble explaining that, but you can do that. I don't do that, but you could. So anyway, guys, next thing, you need to outsource, okay? I haven't edited a photo or a video in terms of real estate in 4 years, okay? All my editors live in the Philippines or Vietnam. That's it, okay? I tried India. There's a couple of good guys there, but they just charge a little bit more, and I don't know. I have no idea. Their punctuality is just not something that I'm a big fan of. So the Vietnamese, they're locked in. Like if you send them a message right now, they're going to respond in 0.2 seconds, and it's not a bot. It's a real person. Same with Filipinos. These people, they're just glued on their phones. Indians, you might not hear from him for 3 days, and that's across the board. My first VAs, my first virtual assistants were from a company called AskSunday.com. Indians. Don't ever use them. They're terrible. Terrible. Terrible, terrible, terrible. So what you can expect is about 50 cents to about 90 cents per photo, depending on if you're shooting flambient or HDR. I do HDR. I used to do flambient. If you get a good enough editor, no one can tell, especially realtors, because these are little tiny photos that are going to be living on the MLS they're not full size, full resolution, magazine quality. But I will tell you right now, if you want to start working for like architecture firms, you need to be able to do flambient, which is taking a flash and then blending it with the ambient shot. And it's not just one flash, it's multiple flashes, multiple flash photos. And I personally take two AD 200 Pros and I tape them together and I use that. So those are wonderful. I know that there's people online that use 8400s, and there's even people that use even bigger flashes. So I don't know what your end goal is. I don't know if you're going to be shooting freaking skyscrapers or 40-foot ceiling buildings, but the taller the ceiling and the bigger the area, the more light you're going to need to really flood that area, okay? So keep that in mind when you're buying, because these flashes are like $300 a pop, even just for like the little one, the professional little one. It's like, oh my gosh, $300. So I also, when it comes to outsourcing, I outsource pretty much everything. I outsource my lead generation. I outsource my administrative work. I outsource literally everything within the business except for taking the photos. And even I outsource that sometimes, obviously through contractors, subcontractors. So I'm just going to show you guys online jobs. This is, yeah. Okay, so as you can see here, I have 340 applicants, right? This is all within the last 2 weeks. And this is just, I put out a general virtual assistant. I need another admin. And what this admin is going to be doing is delivering photos and doing like culling photos, not color correcting, but quality control, quality assurance, things like that. But I want to show you guys, I've been doing this for over 3 years, doing the whole virtual assistant thing. I've never seen a bigger return on my money than virtual assistants. So we can get into that a whole nother time. But seriously, I had a VA that stopped working for me in December. So it's been about 6 months. It's crazy because her leads still call me and book my services after she's gone. Okay, I paid her $4 an hour and she worked for me for a year. My return on my investment with her is 10x, no questions asked, because one booking is equivalent to 1 month's salary for her. So think about that. It's pretty sweet. Really, there's people who don't like the idea of hiring like Filipino VAs, and they're like, you pay them $4 an hour? And by the way, Filipinos are the worst too. Like there's these Filipinos out there that think that they should get paid the same as an American. And I'm like, I've lived in the Philippines for a year. The cost of living, like, dude, you're rich at like $4 or $5 an hour. I'm not kidding you. You're literally loaded at $4 or $5 an hour, depending on the city. But yeah, the cost of living is going up in the Philippines, but not so much so that you deserve the same rates as Americans, because you could pay an American $25 an hour and they're still going to be broke. Everything's very expensive here in America. Insurance, gas, housing, food, everything is like 10 times the price in the Philippines. So if you're in the Philippines, guess what? You get to work from home. You get to spend time more like with your family. You don't get to go on a jeepney to work every day and commute through the god awful traffic. Just provide value to your company and then ask for a raise based on the value that you're providing. Love your job, accept your job, do your job. But honestly, being a VA kind of sucks. It does suck because you have to work overnights because we're not going to get into all that. But when I lived in the Philippines for a year, I hated working overnights. And in the Philippines, it's extremely loud. There's a lot of roosters. So anyway, if you guys want to have, if you have any questions about hiring Filipino VAs, let me know. I have 200 students that we teach. One of my VAs teaches these 200 students. They're just, it's all my company, but she teaches them. So if you guys ever want that, let me know. I got you. Got you. This is Pixel Mob. This is who I send to, this is where I edit my photos, okay? And what you can expect, like I kept the address, I probably shouldn't have, but you can expect to pay anywhere from like 30 to 40, like upper 40s, like per shoot for photos. So I'm charging, $500-$600, and I pay $30 for some overseas editor. And guess what? I don't have to spend the time making sure everything is perfect, because honestly, these editors, that's all they do is edit. If all I do is shoot, I'm going to become a better shooter. If all they do is edit, they're going to become better editors. It's just like a movie. When you're on a movie set, right? Everyone has their role. There's a director, there's a writer, there's the star. I mean, unless you're like Louis C.K., he just does it all. But typically what you see things delegated, okay? So delegate. Don't be afraid to delegate, okay? And let go a little bit. Why do you have so much control? Why are you such a freaking anal retentive asshole? Let go. What are you afraid somebody's gonna be better than you? They are. Right? They are. Do you really want like all your time to be dedicated to being on a computer? Hell no. Go outside, man. Go touch some grass. Go play with your kids. Don't you have kids? Don't you have a wife? Get out there. Okay. And then this is my video editor. This is the price sheet you can expect to pay. So you guys can actually steal their number right here. That's them on WhatsApp. And this is exactly what you can expect to pay, anywhere from $30 to $60. I pay a little bit more because I add the graphics, but I'll show you a video right here, right now, what it looks like. I'm gonna mute him though, because I don't care what he's saying. Yep. I mean, these videos generate tens of thousands of views online for $30. I mean, what else? What other vehicle other than, I can't think of anything that, for $30 you can guarantee 10,000 views. I can't think of it. I cannot think of it. And you know what else it generates is more business for the realtor, which in turn generates more business for you. Right? Got it? Copy? Okay, guys. Okay, so yep, you want to build a rock star team. And we already kind of went over this, but I want to basically lay out to you guys this idea that I read in this book. It's called Rocket Fuel. Okay, and they talk about delegation versus abdication. And when you abdicate something, if you don't know what the word abdication means, it means that you just kind of like expect people to do stuff. You don't really give them clear instructions. You just go, well, I thought you were going to do it. Like you just have this like idea in your head and you expect people to be able to be like mind readers or some shit. But the reality is, like I had this guy that I work with, his name, I don't want to say his name. I'm gonna say his first name, Doug. He's such a smart guy. He's such a great businessman, but he's a terrible boss. Why? Because he's not a delegator. He wants people to just know. And I think like some of the smartest people are the worst at growing a business or growing a team or growing a culture, because they have these really high expectations, but at the same time, they won't give you creative freedom, but they also won't give you clear instructions. Okay? So it gets to be a little bit of a mind fuck. You're like, what am I supposed to do? I'm going to go do what I think I'm supposed to do, and then you're going to eat my face and scream at me. Okay, all right. So delegate, please. All right. Create very clear standard operating procedures. Okay. With the advent of GPT, I already was doing SOPs before GPT, but holy crap, you can really create some great frameworks and great SOPs very quickly with no experience. You just have to know how to prompt GPT. It's insane. So you're gonna want to use things like, not things, people like subcontractors, virtual assistants, overseas editors to really scale your business. Or you can be a one-man band. You can do it all yourself, and you're gonna have gray hair, and your hair is gonna fall out like me. I don't recommend it. Okay. Not if you're going to build a business. I mean, if you just want to be a photographer, go for it. But this video isn't for you. You should probably shut it off because we're about building businesses here. So how does your team look? How should it look? Well, everybody has their own engine and machine that they're operating, right? Everyone has their own beast, if you will. For me, what our team looks like is we have the operations person, our salesperson, and then we have a quality control / administrator. And then we also have a person who does our website and social media. Okay? So, you can decide how big you want your organization to be. And there's even hiring charts, and there's all these things that you can look online. And you can model any successful business out there and figure out, okay, what is the chain of command, right? You can hire a CTO, a CEO, a COO, a CFO. You can have all these people, and they can do all these things for you. It just depends on how big your business is. So I forgot to mention, we also, our VAs, like our admin, they're always trained on like accounting tools. So like QuickBooks. So that's one thing that I want you to understand, is that people, you can kind of double up their jobs because you need to have extra things for them to do when they have downtime. Okay. And you don't want to have to train people a ton because that takes away from your time from what you could be doing. Okay. So you want people to be experienced. You can find a Filipino VA for $2 an hour, but I wouldn't recommend it. I'd recommend probably anywhere from like $5 to $7 range because they're gonna have more skills, they're gonna have better equipment, things like that. But you can even hire all the way up to $10, $12, $15, $20 an hour. That's real. There are some very skilled people overseas. It's really up to you and how you run your business. So, bam. So let's talk about, where do we find our contractors? To be honest with you, these are the 3 places that I find them. Facebook, that's like one. Indeed.com and Craigslist. I know that sounds Craigslist. I've never even heard of Craigslist. Craigslist is great. So I'm going to read the job description right now. This is what it is. Photographers and videographers with real estate / architectural experience and the right equipment to shoot freelance. Oh, by the way, you have to have the right title. Otherwise, these people, because look at this. I'm just showing you how many impressions and clicks and applications. Only about 10%, less than 10% from click to application, okay? And only about 80% of the people who actually started the application finished it, okay? So I've done a lot of back and forth with how to deal with titles and how to deal with all that. Real estate photographer, shoot on your own schedule. Holy smokes. Talk about a title. If I was a photographer and I saw that, I'd be like, I can shoot on my own schedule? Kind of. But it is true though. It is. If you give me your schedule and there's gigs that fall within that schedule, I'm going to send them to you. If you have the right gear to do the job that just got booked, right? If we got a drone job, 360 tour, photos and a video, and you have all that equipment, you're in the right area, like the right part of the metro, and it's the right time, I'm sending that gig to you, okay? And I'm going to show you guys some cool stuff as well along the way. So anyway, photographers and videographers, we're gonna start from the top. Job description: photographers and videographers with real estate / architectural experience and the right equipment to shoot freelance assignments for us on an ongoing basis. We offer education and certification and handle everything so you can keep shooting. Our studio handles all the image post-processing, sales, and delivery. And you get to do what you do best. Just shoot. Just freaking shoot. Oh, compose amazing photos. Sorry, I guess I changed the copy. Basic requirements. We require that you have a DSLR or a mirrorless camera of at least 18 megas, little megapix. A wide angle lens, a 16 millimeter equivalent, sturdy tripod, reliable vehicle with insurance. I don't know why it doesn't say that. Come on, man, I gotta add the insurance part. These assignments are freelance, independent contractor positions, so you should be comfortable with managing your own schedule and juggling commitments. So requirements for additional work: drone certification, plus a drone, gimbal, and a camera that can shoot 4K 60 frames per second, and a 360 camera, a Theta Z1 or better, right? So how it works, they apply, they do a test shoot, and then once they've passed the test shoot, then they become a part of our Cinnamon Media Network, okay? And essentially, my virtual assistant dispatches jobs from our studio. We don't own a studio anymore post-COVID. And then they accept jobs, the job assignments. So they either say yes or they say no, okay? And they have pretty much like 30 minutes to respond. If they don't respond, we're going to move on to the next photographer. Okay. And then they get paid. Bada bing, bada boom. So I already showed you guys the metrics here. And this is just from a week. That's 1 week. Or 1 month. I'm sorry. 1 month. So in 1 month, we got 40 applicants. 3,500 people saw the job. 488 people were interested in it. And again, 51 people started it. And 40 finished. So, let's go to the contractor database. Oh crap, I shouldn't be showing that stuff on. Oh, this is it right here. We'll go here. This one's blank. Okay, so I don't have a huge database. I actually do have a national database. And then I have a small little database of basically what you always want is you want people that are in testing mode. You want people that you've already worked with and like approved. And I'll show you this real quick. So what we do is we put their first name, their last name, their email, their phone, the city that they work in, the state, because I plan to do a national service, the model of their camera, and then the type of gear that they have, right? So they have Sony, Nikon, Canon, Panasonic, Fujifilm, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And then here I say, can they do photos? Yes or no, right? Can they do videos? Yes or no? Can they do mobile videos? Yes or no? And this a lot of times is based on skill and then gear, because not everybody has a mobile gimbal. Some people only have the big professional gimbal. Some people only have the mobile gimbal and they don't have the big professional gimbal, okay? Can they do 360 tours, right? Do they have the capacity to do floor plans? Do they have their drone pilot certification? And then we also, we rate them, okay? And we rate their skill, their communication, their punctuality. So people think like, oh, I'm the greatest photographer since sliced bread. Well, sliced bread was nicer than you, and they communicated much better than you. So then the overall rating gets spit out here. So it should look something like this, like, okay, 4 plus 2, and then they're a 5. So then they would get a 3.66666 weighted overall rating. And we actually don't work with anybody if they're under a 3.5. So like if you're just a terrible communicator, like let's just do the math real quick. Terrible communicator, but you're pretty good and you always show up on time, but it's just hard to hear from you. You don't deliver the photos on time. You just don't talk to us. We never hear from you. Well, guess what? You're under a 3.5. We ain't hiring you. You could be the best damn photographer. Let's give you a 5. And let's just say like you're sometimes punctual. You're the best photographer and you're sometimes punctual. Again, not hiring you. You get a 3.3. So does that make sense, guys? I hope it all makes sense. Oh, okay. Bada bing, bada boom. If anybody wants a link to that, I got you. I got you. I got you. So let's continue to move on. What you're going to need to do is any job, whether it doesn't matter if you're a plumber, it doesn't matter if you're an electrician, it doesn't matter if you're a photographer. It does not matter what you are in life. If you work for yourself, you are a salesperson. Absolutely. Without question, full stop. Because if the sales don't come in, if you can't generate business and leads and sell them business and sell them leads, then I'm not saying you should learn to be some upselling guru and scam people. No, but what you need to do is you need to be able to sell your services. So how do you sell, right? What is your mode of communication? Well, we do text messages, we do direct messages, we do one-to-one selling, we do networking, and we also do cold calling. But see, here's the thing about sales is the very first thing that you need to offer is value. Value. You're not going to sit there and just look at them as money. Because if you look at somebody as money, they're going to smell it. They're going to be like, oh, commission breath. I don't want anything to do with this guy. So what I would tell you to do is if you're not really comfortable with the idea of sales, I think you should just at least listen to a couple books, a couple of podcasts, and understand that sales is really just about providing solutions. Sales is not this like weird used car salesman where people walk up and you try to scam them and upsell them on insurance that they don't need, or window wipers that they don't need, or oh, we're going to put nitrogen inside of your tires. None of that stuff, okay? You need to offer solutions based on the problems that these people have. That is sales. That's sales 101, no matter what. So I'm going to tell you right now, you need to get an Audible subscription. And when you're driving around, okay, you can get yourself a pseudo MBA by just listening to business books, listening to sales books, listening to psychology books, understanding human nature and how people operate and what makes them tick. Because the better you understand people, the better you're going to be at sales, and the better you're going to be able to help people. You also need to learn how to communicate. A lot of people don't communicate very properly. They just don't, unfortunately. So, and I'm going to give you guys a couple of book recommendations. And don't listen to podcasts. I'm sorry. Alex Hormozy's The Game is fucking awesome. But outside of like that, Andy Frisella, he's got a good podcast, but sometimes too political. But I think podcast, it's a little bit weird. It's almost like mental masturbation is what I like to call it. Your body and brain don't know the difference between like perceived reality and real reality. So when you're listening to things like podcasts and you're hearing all these people get success, your brain is actually getting tricked and thinking that you're experiencing this. You're driving around in these Lambos. Okay? Or what it's doing is even worse. It can create a bigger and bigger void and a distance between you and that goal. And you'll feel like, oh, I can never get it. Or some people get inspired by that stuff. If you're an inspired person by looking at other people's stuff, go for it. But that's not how I am. So, and if you're like me, podcasts are like the worst. It's better than nothing, but it's better than listening to Drake or whoever these like artists are. How is Drake still around? He was around when I was in high school. I liked him when he was a singing guy. He's a fake gangster now. It's weird. Anyway, here's some good books though. We're not going to get into the chismis of that. So, Never Split the Difference by Chris Voss. Great negotiation book. This guy was like an old CIA dude, and he was a CIA negotiator. In fact, the first like story he talks about is in the Philippines, and then they had to negotiate with hostage situations. So anyway. Influence by Robert Cialdini. I don't even think I spelled the name right. And being influential is different than what you might think being influential is. But like for me, I've always been a very influential person. If I do something in my social circle, everybody will start doing it. It's very weird. If I start working out, they all start working out. If I start and I never knew why. Then I read Influence by Robert Cialdini, and he's got a couple of other books. I can't remember what is the name. You'll just Google Robert Cialdini Influence and read his other books. But I didn't have a ton of space here, so I just was like, I'm gonna give him like 4 or 5 books. Gap selling is great. It's actually really, really, really great for one-to-one sales. One-to-many sales. There's this book by Jason Fladlien called One to Many. It's just freaking awesome. So it's not on this list, but it's a freaking banger. Psycho-Cybernetics. That book is the Bible for me. I listen to that book monthly for sure. Absolutely just the best book you could ever imagine when it comes to self-development. It is the self-development Bible. Like if you've ever read a self-development book and you go and you read or listen to or read Psycho-Cybernetics, you're going to go, wait, did everybody just start copying Psycho-Cybernetics? This is the OG of OG like books, okay? This is amazing. And you should absolutely, without question, probably make that your first book, because as an entrepreneur, if you are only going to earn and succeed to the level of like how you feel about yourself, okay? If you feel like shit and you feel like crap and you're insecure and I'm a loser, I'm a this, I'm a that, well, guess what? Yeah, I mean, whatever you think and believe is what's going to happen. I mean, that's just what it is. I don't know how or why that is, but people who think great about themselves, there's false bravado and there's things like that where people are like egotistical. That's not who I'm talking about. I'm talking about the confident, quiet person who, is genuine and honest, and they're not like boisterous and trying to show off. That's not who I'm talking about. I'm talking about the real confident people. Those people have gone through self-discovery. They know who they are. They're confident in their decisions. These people succeed. So you got to learn about yourself. Then you also have to know how to write copy. So there's a book called the Copywriter's Handbook by a guy named, I think is it Robert Bly? Something Bly. Anyway, great book. You need to learn how to write copy. Okay, AI is okay. Claude is all right. It's okay. But you need to understand the fundamentals of copywriting before you can just rely on AI. Because what I do is I use AI to create the skeleton, and then I kind of fill in the meat and the fucking veins and the blood. Okay, like it's the framework. Is AI is really good at developing that, but you got to fill in the gaps. $100 million leads and then $100 million offers. You need to know how to put together offers, and you need to know how to drum up business by, whether it's creating an affiliate army, right? Whether it's getting referrals, whether it's getting reviews. That's in $100 million leads. It's really, really great. And then $100 million offers, they talk about structuring, putting together an offer that is so sweet and so good that people feel stupid saying no to it. So both of those are awesome. So, photo delivery. How do you deliver photos? Well, this is how we deliver photos. So we have a 24-hour guarantee. If they don't receive their photos within 24 hours, they get their photos for free. So this is what I do. I use Dropbox. I do not use Google Drive. I used to use Google Drive for about 3 years. And then I was like, man, why are all my editors using Dropbox? And then I realized when you download a lot of files from Google Drive, it comes out in like a bunch of zip files. It's terrible. Then you have to extract the zip files. And then also the upload speeds are tremendously slow. Like they're throttled. It's so bad. It's better on the app, like if you download the desktop app, but really it's just terribly slow, even within the desktop app compared to Dropbox. Dropbox is zippy. It's as fast as your internet. Okay, there's no throttling. It's amazing. And then the file organization, it looks way better and it feels better. So we use HD Photo Hub and we use Dropbox. Okay. Right after a shoot, I do my shoot, I take out my SD card, I put it on my computer, I upload the files to Dropbox. I send those photos or I send the Dropbox link to my editor. The editor edits it, and then they put it into a certain folder that I titled Done. And then that auto-populates, all automated, to the HD Photo Hub website, and then we can deliver the photos like that. Like literally within 6 hours of me sending the photos, I get them back, and they're already populated on the website for the agent, and I just hit send. And then I can't open up HD Photo Hub on here because it shows all my financials, it shows all this stuff, but if you ever want to walk through HD Photo Hub, you can use that 30-minute free consultation, and I'll show you everything on how to do exactly what I just described. But this right here was the biggest game changer in our business. Nobody else in my market offers the 24-hour guarantee, or it's free. And that's how I do it. Is I do it through HD Photo Hub, and then a series of Dropbox folders, a done folder and an edit folder. And then bam, instantaneously. And then I have a VA from the Philippines send it at 8:30 in the morning, and it's automated. So she'll get it, she'll do the quality control, she'll look through it, and then she'll invoice them. Well, The invoice usually is first, so we always try to get paid before we go out and shoot, but sometimes we don't, and we always have this thing. It's like they have to pay in order to download their photos. That's why I really like HD Photo Hub, because realtors can't just steal your photos, use them on a listing, and then not pay you. Like, that's ridiculous. So I've dealt with that. That's a war story that we'll talk about another time. I think I talked about this a little bit earlier, but guys, we subscribe to 4 things, the 4 R's in my business. That's what we call it. I don't even know who said this, but I heard it a long time ago and I loved it. I think it might have been Alex Hermosi, but we recruit. So that's how we do like outbound lead generation, right? Or advertisements, right? And then we want to retain our clients. So how are we maintaining a relationship with them after we get it, after we deliver the photos? Because we always want to make sure that we're making sure that their business is growing. That's what our whole intent is. If we can grow their business, we're going to get more bookings. We always ask for a review, not an incentivized review, a real, honest to God review. And then a referral. So I'll show you guys some of our reviews here. Let's just go to this website here. I'm gonna get in trouble with those stupid. So here, this is one of the HD Photo Hub sites, by the way. Here's a video that we did. Yeah, I love the videos, guys. The videos look nice. Okay. And we also have a sample. So we have a vertical and horizontal videos. We have twilight photos. We got it all, guys. We got it all. Look at that, virtual staging, all that stuff. But anyway, we also include our reviews. Look at this. Cinnamon Media Company is my go-to for real estate photography. I've been a real estate agent in Minnesota since 2000. Bam, like look at all these reviews, guys. Look at them, look at them, look at them, look at them. And they're all verified with real people with real reviews. Real people, real reviews. So you want to get those reviews, okay? You want to get those referrals. You want to have an ability to recruit people and bring on new business. And you want to have an ability to keep them within your ecosystem, because guess what? Real estate photography is a race to the bottom. There's a lot of people that are wanting to do this because some social media influencer told them you can make $400 in an hour. So what they do is they go and they offer free shoots. Oh God, free shoots. Oh no. Free shoots are okay. And we're going to get into offers later. But it is a race to the bottom all the time, and I don't like that. So anyway, guys, I'm going to tell you guys the systems that we use to automate everything. So we automate things like our texting, our payments, our CRM, our email, our dialer, our booking reminders, our booking confirmations. And it also, we send out a prep your house guide within all this automation. So it's really great. So we use Twilio for our texting. We use Stripe for our payment processing, which is all done automated through HD Photo Hub. It's all integrated. HubSpot is connected to all of these things, so we know exactly where these leads are within their life cycle, right? Are they an old lead? Are they a dead lead? Are they somebody that we contacted? Are they an ongoing lead? What was the last service that they bought? What is their lifetime value to us? So CRM is, HubSpot is so good, but you got to pay a little money for it. The free version is good too. We use Google Scripts for our email because it's free. If you can learn how to code and do Google Scripts, oh baby, you can send out a lot of emails, but that's a little secret. The delivery rate is like 100%. We also use Wix email as well. We use Wix email. And we have trackers for all this stuff. We have little lines of code to track every single one of these things that I'm talking about. Obviously not the Stripe payments, not the texting either. But all that's the Twilio stuff. They have their own back-end data that we use. So, and then we use for our dialer, we use NextDiva, and we've been looking at other dialers like VoIP.ms. I used to use one of my favorite dialers. Sorry, I have mosquito bites. It's just insane. Minnesota mosquitoes are insane right now. We used to use this dialer called REI Reply, Real Estate Investing Reply. It's so good. It was the best dialer I ever used in my whole life. But some things changed, and we ended up going with NextDiva, which is fine. NextDiva is great. And then HD Photo Hub, as I had mentioned before, for the booking process. So, bam. Goodness gracious, Julian, what are you doing? What are you doing? What are you freaking doing? All right, so scale with systems. Scale with systems. Systemas. You need to think in systems. You have to think in systems. If you don't think in systems, your business is gonna crumble. 100%. You're gonna have. I heard this guy named Dan Martell once say that you fail to the level of your systems. So like if I had a bad day or a bad week, my systems are pretty good actually, where we're still gonna make a couple $1,000s. Like even if I do nothing, like if I just did nothing, the machine's running in the background. You know, all my VAs know exactly what to do. They know exactly what they're supposed to do, like from the minute they start to the minute that they finish. They even have these things called SODs and EODs. They have start of day agendas, and then they tell me at the end of the day what they did. And then we have everything within Google Meet, and I pay for a Google Workspace subscription. So within that, it annotates everything that was done that day. And I get a summary of what all my virtual assistants did through Gemini. It summarizes exactly what went down. So it's just, AI is wonderful. But the only reason I have systems is because I created standards of operating procedures. I don't even know if that's what SOP stands for. I just know the word SOP. And we have just thick, dense, and short, like one pagers SOPs. So we have like the main guide, like this is exactly what you need to do. And then we also have like the small, I'll show you. This is my SOP for my photographers. So let's see here. So if you look here, we literally have the SOP. So we say things like, whatever, I'll just freaking find it here. Okay. So this is our SOP for our photographers. This is a photo shoot standard SOP. This is what it looks like. So we talk about required equipment, prohibited equipment. We talk about required camera settings, okay? We even have a bracketing guide, okay? We have 5-frame brackets, 7-frame bracket, and a 9-frame bracket example. I tell them all five brackets with 2 stops of exposure between each bracket. But I know that not every camera can do that. So I just make sure that we're getting the range that we're looking for, if that makes sense. So we want as much dynamic range between the first and the last shot so then we can blend them into one big, beautiful picture, okay? Then we also have shoot requirements. So we have a requirement of at least 30 photos. We want 4 different angles of each room. We want horizontal, things like that, okay? All images must be shot on a tripod. And then we have the post-shoot requirements. See, look at it. This is an old SOP. I gotta change it. Google Drive link. Another thing that HD Photo Hub does as well is it automatically adds the photographer that's been assigned to the job. It sends them a calendar invite, and it has every single piece of detail that they need to know, right? Where the photo shoot is, what is the lockbox information, what is the type of shoot that they're going to be doing, the square footage, blah, 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 blah. And then we also include the Dropbox link that they have to upload their files to within that calendar invite. So, little piece of advice, do that. And then once they accept it, then we're rolling. And then it also sends them a reminder an hour and 30 minutes before the shoot. So there's no excuse. And then we also have 15 minutes before the shoot, a text message that is sent out to them, reminding them of the scope of work that's going to be done and performed at the property that day. Okay? We even talk about how to stage the property. And when I say stage, it's not like staging like a stager, but like sometimes you got to move stuff out of the way, or you got to open up the curtains, or you got to do something, right? You got to make sure that the toilet seat is down. These are the things. So setting up the shot, this is more on like composing, how tall the tripod should be, what angles that you should choose, and then adapting to the property. So a lot of times like you get mixed lighting. Like for example, the outside light is very, very blue, right? And then the inside light might be extremely white or yellow, right? So that's called mixed lighting. What do you do in that situation? Well, we have standards of operating procedure. So we have an SOP. I'm the only guy what the fuck does SOP mean? There's so many acronyms in this world. So you should have these things, guys. Okay? And I'm going to be honest with you, a lot of times these SOPs, they are made because of mistakes that happened in the past. That's just the reality. Okay? That's an example of an SOP. So guys, when you're first starting, you want to document even from the beginning. There's a book by Gary Vee called Crush It and Crushing It. And then he's even got a new one called Day Trading Attention. Shoot behind the scenes stuff, guys, right? Film your walkthroughs, wear your GoPro, document. So nobody can ever tell you. The worst thing in business is when you really blow up. People think you're like a one-hit wonder, or they think that you're an overnight success. But the reality is as long as you have a body of work that you can show people that you've been doing this for a long time, that alone is, there's so much credibility in that. Embarrassingly, I've had a couple of realtors see my videos online. It's a little cringy for me, and I don't have like a ton of subscribers, but I do get like quite a bit of views. You know, like I think on this video that I'm showing right now, I had 63 views. 63 people watch my live stream. Like, that to me, that's a lot of people. Like, to me, that's like, imagine that you're in a room and there's 63 people and you're talking in front of them. You'd be terrified, right? I've had videos where like 30,000 plus people have watched. I have an old channel called JDHD where hundreds of thousands of views are on there. So, it's very strange that this internet thing is. So you should definitely be documenting your process for yourself and to build credibility. And when people, they go like, what do? You just send them the video. This is what I do. They go, that looks so boring. You just like walk around with a camera? Ooh. Yeah, that's what I do. I just click and then I make $500 an hour and then I leave. That's what like these influencers try to convince people real estate photography is. It's not that, by the way. Okay. So earlier we had talked about sales. This is called a lead magnet, okay? You have to give free value. So I have a list of over 3,000 real estate agents that I work with, okay? In my market specifically. I actually just target like high-end realtors. I don't work with the cheapies. To be honest with you, like these people need to do $1 million properties or more, and or they need to have done a certain amount of volume. I don't just like waste my time with people who do 1 or 2 shoots a year and then they're not interested in growing their business. They're just interested in, you know, I don't like working with those people. They're always the worst and they're penny pinchers. I want people who are full-time in the game, ready to grow their business. And I can come in, integrate myself within that business, help them, and then we can grow together. So how do I do that? I send out things like free PDFs through emails, even through my YouTube videos, through YouTube shorts, through our social media. So it's basically like the idea is we hook them, or we lead magnet them, we help them, right? Maybe we offer things like free consultation, which I want to do with you guys. And then we offer a solution. That's it. We try to fill the gap. You're going to learn that in gap selling. Basically, you figure out where people are, and then you try to meet them where they want to be, right? You try to get them there, right? You're the bridge to their problems, okay? On the other side is the golden pot. What's that? The lucky, I don't know, the Irish, what am I talking about? No one knows what I'm talking about. What am I talking about? Anyway, so this is what we do. We have campaigns. We don't send out a ton of emails. As you can see, we have May 30th, June 3rd, June 6th, June 10th, June 16th, June 20th, and then we just sent out another one today. So today is July 1st. So, I mean, as you can see, only 400 people we sent those emails to. 17 of them opened, 18 of them opened, 400 opened, 30 clicked. It's not a great number, but still, that's 30 leads. 30 freaking leads, you guys. 16 leads. How many leads did you get a month? So, yeah, I don't know what this slide's about. I'm gonna skip it. Okay, daily support equals results. Okay, I talked about habits. It's very important to have powwows at the beginning of every single shift. Every single shift. Do not take up your virtual assistant's time. Check in with them, read their SOD, confirm with them, talk with them, give them any additional support, any questions that they may have, any information you want to impart on them, that is wonderful. So you need to support them. You need to be the best freaking boss to them. Do not just forget about them and say, oh, I don't want to talk to you. I don't want to see you. These people should have direct access to you whenever you're, I mean, even when you're not available, they should be able to get a hold of you. These are your emergency people, because guess what? They're the ones that are getting the inbound calls. They're the ones doing the outbound calls. They're the ones talking to your past clients and your leads. So what's going to happen is, like, for example, like we were running ads the other day and somebody called on an ad and they said, can you come out and shoot in Western Wisconsin? And my VA said, I will check with you. And they couldn't get a hold of me. And it was about an hour had gone by. And then she called the realtor and said, yes, we can do it. And the lady said, oh, we found somebody else. So that was on me. That was my fault. So you need to be available and you need to work together. And that way you all can grow simultaneously, because don't be the bottleneck in your business. I've been the bottleneck in my business, and I'm no longer going to be the bottleneck in my business. But that starts with acknowledgement and accountability. So, any questions on that? No, because this is a diatribe, or this is a whatever. It's a unilateral conversation. You need to be consistent, guys. You need to show up every single day. And I'm talking to myself when I say this, because this is one of my biggest problems. You guys can look at my YouTube channel. I am not consistent, okay? I live stream occasionally. And I don't like to live stream when there's property owners or realtors there. So I only do it on vacant properties. But if you do this, if you're posting in your local market and you're teaching people what you're doing and you're live streaming and people can feel your energy and they can see who you are and you're showing up daily, right? These are great habits to have. If you do this for 30, 60, 90 days, one, you're going to improve your ability to be on camera. You're going to improve your camera skills, but also you're going to be connecting with people. Okay. I was listening to that iShow Speed Kid talk about like his streaming. He's like, oh, it started off with one guy and I just would talk to that one guy. And then it started off with 2 and then 3 and then 4. And then now this kid is going on world tours. Okay. You have to be committed. Okay. You don't want to half-ass anything. You want to whole-ass something. Okay. So you want to also create a plan. People without a business plan, I think, are the stupidest people in the world. I hate the I'm just winging it guy, okay? Like if you want to go to the gym and you want to get big muscles, right? You want to get the big muscles and you want to look good, you have to have a diet plan. You have to have a workout plan, right? You have to have a regimen, a structure, okay? You have to have a calorie deficit if you want to lose weight. If you want to gain muscle and gain weight, you have to have a certain amount of protein in a day, right? Vegans will argue against that, and that's fine. But I'm just giving you an example. You need a plan. So I don't know how big you want your business to be or how small you want it to be. But whatever it is, it should be reflected on the plan that you create. So you need to have daily activities. And if you don't want to do those activities, like me, I don't do cold calls. I don't do cold calls, ever. Ever. I have virtual assistants do my cold calls. They do my DMs. And then I will jump on a call. I'm very good at one-to-one sales. And what I do is I just use the Socratic method of sales. I just ask questions and I'm there to help. That's it. It's no secret. And then document as you go. I've been documenting this stuff for, the whole time, but I haven't really posted any of it in a while. I haven't posted it, like I just started posting. So, but everything's documented, every single thing. Back in my old house, like that was 4 years ago, like every single thing. My first shoot, I've done, man, it's really cool to just how far you can come. So anyway, you guys, this whole thing is bigger than you. You are not a photographer. You're a job creator. You're building a legacy, okay? So you got this. I don't care if you are brand new and you're just getting started. You can do this. It's doable for everybody. If I can do it, 100%, you can do it. So I got a couple of bonus things that I want to talk to you guys about. These are just the straight up the tips, the tripod height, everything that I do, and then just a little extra bonus even after this. So I shoot in f8. I shoot at 16 millimeters or 17 millimeters. My ISO is always below 400, and then my shutter speed is adjusted based on all of those, my aperture and then my ISO. So shutter speed is the only thing that is not locked down, okay? My tripod height, I always adjust it based on the furniture in the room or like the height of the cabinets. Like if you're in a really tall, like in a kitchen where the cabinets are really tall, you got to raise your tripod. But yeah, you want to adjust to each room, but typically right around 4.5 feet. I do 5 brackets with 2 exposures between each of the brackets. The images come out clean. I used to only do 3, but I find that the 5 is sometimes it's better. Sometimes it's better. No, it is better. It's not sometimes, it is better. So this shot right here in the front of this house, we call that a hero shot, okay? And the only way to achieve that nice flat look where there's no like barrel distortion is you have to shoot in 24 millimeters, okay? And then also when you're outdoors, use a circular polarized filter, a CPL filter, okay? A CPL filter. You are gonna thank me later and you are gonna look like a gosh darn professional. Everyone's gonna look at your photos and say, how does it look so good? How do your photos look so much better than mine? This is for the outdoors though, okay? Don't bring these inside. You get weird color casting and you don't want that. Don't do that. All right, last little bit of bonus tip, okay? Yeah, this is the last bonus tip. So we're gonna talk about offers. What are some offers that I did when I first got started? Really, I would do 50% off your first 2 shoots. It's really like a buy one, get one free, but you need money you need them to commit to 2 shoots as well. And you need to at least get paid half for one. Because if you're gonna be sending these photos, oh, by the way, you should be editing your own photos in the beginning to save money. I also do, even to this day, I offer free drone photos, like it's a free upgrade, and then a free virtual twilight as well. That cost me $4. And then the drone photos are literally 40 cents a photo, okay? And then I also do free social media videos for stale listings. So if they've been on the market for like 60, 90 plus days. And that only costs 30 bucks, okay? Where do I get my data? I have a whole video on my YouTube channel about how to scrape Zillow and get free leads out of there. So what I do is I scrape all the new and the old listings. I find the ones that have bad photos and I reach out to them. How do we reach out to them? Well, we reach out to them through text message. We find that real estate agents respond to text messages. Yeah, that's like their favorite mode of communication. Then we pitch them the offer. That's it, guys. That's all I do is I find crappy looking photos. I reach out to the realtor with an offer so good that they can't refuse. And then I show up and then I get them in my ecosystem and I show them exactly what they've been doing wrong this whole time in their business, because I used to be a realtor for 10 years. So I know exactly what to do to generate more leads from those listings. So all you got to do, guys, to be a good real estate business photography owner is you have to care about their business first. You can't just look at realtors as overpaid college dropouts, because that's what a lot of them are, or former athletes. You can't do that. You have to look at them as, hey, I want to support their business, and as their business grows, my business grows, and let's just have just a big mutual beneficial situation going. So if anybody has any questions or any concerns, guys, go to the link in this video, okay? I'm offering you a free, 100%, no obligation, 30-minute consultation. You can ask me anything. I'll give you my scripts. I'll give you my database. I'll give you it all. I'll tell you whatever you need to know. What kind of memory cards? Where to get the best gear? How to find the gear cheap? How to get cheap rentals? Should you use? Yeah, anyway, guys, I love you. Take care. God bless you. And if that offended you, we're probably not going to work well together. But yes, God bless you. I love you. And I hope you love yourself. So goodbye to the live streamers and goodbye to the regular viewers. Okay? Bye. Thank you. How do you close this thing? Okay, done. Done, done, done. Done, done, done.